Hello. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Everybody got here so early. Mr. Ash, there he is. Hello, sweetie. Hello to Hollis and Laz and Sen and Dr. Manatee and Lurkers. Welcome in. Yeah, and Laz is the only mod in this channel, so if you screw up, they're gonna get you. For most mod purposes, I have Saribot, so that's helpful. But when an actual human and not a spam bot does a bad thing, just you watch out. Anyway, hello. Welcome to Wednesday, and welcome to surprisingly 2 Vivis. I got another order for one, like, last night. By the way, I get push notifications whenever somebody, like, likes or favorites something on my store. I could get rid of them if I wanted to, but I think it's kind of nice. And buy something. That just makes me figure out that a lot of people browse Etsy in the middle of the goddamn night. And I'm just like, yeah. I love scrolling Etsy in the middle of the night. Well, now you're laying on my hand. Well, now what am I supposed to do, huh? What do I do? What do I do with this child? Little boy. Yeah, it's you. It's you. I know. You're very sweet. Stop messing with the camera, mommy. If it was bigger, if this screen was bigger, people would get dizzy with you messing with the camera. You go here. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of rushing, so I couldn't say hi in chat. I needed to get out all of the colors, which I believe I have all of the colors except for the ones for his hat, because that's in like a separate area, but colors. I need a Let's Go Lesbians bumper sticker and a needle felt doll. Yeah. Also, the Christmas hippos have been sent off, but they're also on the store, made to order if you want one. Or if anybody wants one. I'm gonna make a video, I think, of the various Christmas ornament and ornament adjacent things I have on offer, and then Because I have like rear view mirror car hangers, but those can also be ornaments, so I'm gonna like add a no charge, change it to an ornament option, and then like change keywords and do a bunch of stuff. I need to do a bunch of stuff. And you may think it's too early for Christmas, but for a handicraft seller, no, it's not. Because people like to shop for things early, and if they want a handmade present, people who are in the know will get stuff this early. So, oh yeah, I'll also need to get out some of the other patterns. This is just the patterns that are like exclusive to Vivi, but the rest of it is like coat and stuff uses other stuff. Just also, while we're here... Yeah, exactly. Which is why when people are like, I went to Michael's and I saw that in September they had crafting stuff. And I'm like, for Christmas. I'm like, listen. People need time to craft. Crafting takes time. And also, like, home decor stuff, people like to plan. I'm gonna need you to chill out a little bit. A little worried. But they should also have Halloween stuff in July, which in, craft stores, they sure do. This is not to discount Halloween rapidly approaching. Halloween and Gay Pride do have overlap. You just make it so by existing. Oh my goodness, watch streak. Thank you, Dr. Manti. That's a thing that Twitch has had for like a very long time, but I think they just made it like visible by default on everybody's channel. Because I know, I believe you had to like, it was like an opt-in thing before. Shout out to the guy who stole my first Halloween costume, and now my second one is being delivered the day I'm moving. Somebody just, like, up and stole a package. I hate it when that happens. Also, good luck with moving. Queer coding their villains and its inevitable result. I want to queer code a villain. Because... you see... This is why this happens, and I'm sure you guys know this already, but... nobody queer codes a villain on like, you know, a straight person queer coding a villain in like a classic Disney film. Doesn't do it on purpose. They do it because they're like, oh, I want somebody who's like kind of unsettling or strange or different. So I'm gonna make like an effeminate guy or something. And that's that reads as strange to me and to a lot of people. And then it ends up being queer coded. And so it's like their internal biases towards what is strange and different. Yeah, have fun with the Cheshire Cat costume. Yeah, and I mean, animation directors who were gay men, or they were written by a gay person. That's the other one, is like Ursula being very specifically based on Divine. It's also why you have a lot of, like, Jewish stuff in Hollywood, is because a lot of people in Hollywood are Jewish. Yeah, I keep forgetting that, like, gay people did work at Disney even back then. But, like, that's also... It's just, like, you can wind up doing something that's bigoted without even meaning to, and then that's why it's hard to get people to... You know, one of the reasons why it's hard to get people to change their ways, because they're like, well, I'm not a bigot. I didn't do that on purpose. It's like, well, that's why you need to kind of re-examine why that was your thought process, or why, you know, you instinctively have this reaction when, like, presented with this person who's different from you. Like, people get defensive very easily if you say, like, well, you did that on purpose, or this is a thing. It's like, well, I didn't mean to. It doesn't matter if you meant to. Also, hi! Hi, Astral. Welcome in. Astral, the, person who is very, very cool and let me, co-opt their Discord for going live announcement purposes. So if you are not already... You know what? I should have, like, I should have a Discord command, since I don't have a Discord, but Astral does. That it's like, if you want to get going live notifications, from not just Twitch or Blue Sky, you can join this Discord. Yeah, I'm living in the walls. I forget what my lore is supposed to be, because I've only... Despite being the person that I am, I haven't actually put a ton of thought into my lore. I believe I'm an albino lab mouse who escaped. And now felts. I also think Astral is super great. Also, look at Vivi's weird-ass proportions. Like, this is from a... Let me see if I can pull it up. I believe it's official, like, concept art. Because I was just sort of like, oh, how do you... Yeah, so... Like this. I use this as an example. This was for... Yeah, that might not be official, but it's very helpful to be like, okay, what is, like, under all of this? What am I looking at? That's that. And I was able to sort of trace that. You ever want to do a shape fluid lore dump to see if there's anything you want to incorporate or use as inspo? Let me know. Yeah, because you have more lore than I do. Let's go down there. We did a little bit of this. Put this away. Gotta go to work. Thanks for coming, Liz. Stopping by. Shaking up the lore in a major way. My name is Astral, and I'm here to say I'm shaking up the lore in a major way. When I used to do improv, that was one of the exercises that we did. If I moved to a different place, I might try to do improv again. Because I loved doing improv when I was in Boston, and then earlier when I lived in here. But, like, the big problem with it was that the guys who were in charge of it were, like, shitty, and basically allowed a friend of mine to get, like, like sexually harassed by a guy because like, oh, he's like a valuable part of the community and you shouldn't like demonize him or something like that. And it's like, well, isn't she a valuable part of the community too? Like, oh god. So I quit in solidarity with her because fuck that. Also, like, they were kind of shitty to me too. And it's like, I don't truly know how bad it was, but the idea, the very idea, like the very, hey, you should, like, you know, you were uncomfortable enough to come to us about it, and then we rebuffed you by being like, no, is enough to be like, no, fuck them, actually. But, you know, before that, I had a lot of fun with that. And there's another improv place in Cincinnati, but A, it's not the kind of improv I like doing, and B, it's like, it's all the same people. You would be interacting with the other group just as much. So... The one that I went to in Boston was very fun because it was like on the Harvard campus. It wasn't, you know, the Harvard improv group or anything. It just, that's where it was. I got to feel fancy. And there were some people who were in classes who were like legitimate, you know, Harvard professors. And it's like, oh, yeah, this person has like a bunch of research papers and is very important, but they're just here to like hang around. But yeah, I would like encourage anybody, especially anybody who has issues with kind of like believing in themselves and like speaking confidently, to take at least like one class, like an intro class, because oftentimes they do those for free. To be like, do you want to take the full class? And even if you don't take the full class, improv is very helpful for giving yourself the confidence to like not second guess yourself. For some reason that I don't understand, despite being a ball of anxiety, I've never had too much of a problem with public speaking. I think maybe because it's like sort of a performance. So it's not like exposing myself as much. But like I can do a performance relatively well. But it's just, it's very, very helpful for like, okay, the first thing you came up with, it's good enough, and we're gonna go with that, and everybody's gonna help you on it. Like, similarly to D&D, because D&D and improv are extremely similar, and knowing one will help you with the other. It's the like, we're all here to tell a collaborative story, and that's where like yes and comes in, where it's like, okay, the thing that you brought to the table, we're going to take that and we're going to expand on it. We're not going to be like, no, I don't like your idea, we're doing my idea. Like, because that's not how a scene can happen. That's not how like D&D can happen. And if there's like an actual problem or like something's not appropriate, like you can stop it in its tracks and things. Also, hi Vaconquer, welcome. But it's just very helpful for like, okay, everybody around you is on your side, and we're gonna create this thing together, and you're gonna help them and they're gonna help you. So yeah, definitely look into that if public speaking is something that you either have trouble with or feel like you can improve on. Even that one making up a bad guy is on your side. Yeah, like, the DM is on your side. That's another thing to remember about D&D is, like, do not, you know, it is not you against the DM. It is you and the DM. Yeah, this is all like in an ideal scenario where it is you and the DM and the players and you're all working together. And if somebody's not, then you talk to them. I have a hard time giving performances that read as emotional to others. Yeah, I really want to take more acting classes. I've taken, like, you know, one day one, you know. Oh, you're crocheting a hat? Cool. You would like to drop a picture of your progress, go ahead. So I'm not going to worry too much about getting these legs right, despite spending the last 20 minutes worrying about getting these legs right. Because he has big old parachute pants, because it's FF9, and we have the kind of older, less Nomura-y style of clothing. Somebody was telling me that, like, the Amano style art has a lot of influences from Middle Eastern outfits, and I'm like, you know what? You're so right. With, like, lots of turbans, lots of, like, open vests, lots of puffy things, lots of, like, loose linen patterned fabrics. Makes a ton of sense. I have lethal numbers of scarves in warm climates. Cat. Hi, Dark Sass, welcome. If I can. This. There we go. Ooh, it's looking good. It's very cool, especially with, like, the is that sort of spiral thing, like, part of the stitch? I admit I don't know a ton about crochet and knitting. But, like, are you adding that on top, or is that part of the making it? I believe this is the Furio Tigre theme. Because this is the official, because Ace Attorney is based, they have an official jazz album. Oh, I don't know if it has shifted away from the Furio Tigre theme, or if it's still that. Ash went under the table. One behind, but the first stitch of each increase goes over top to make that spiral. Cool. So it is all part of it. Because I'm the kind of person... I'm sure if you're the kind of person who likes very methodical, like, kind of, This is not to be, like, disparaging towards crocheting at all, but, like, more of, like, following directions type stuff, and, like, okay, this is a list and this is a thing that you can do. I like doing that a little bit less because I kind of lose track. And I like the more, like, free expression sculptor angle of felting. But I do think that, like, crocheting and knitting are so, so cool. And that, like, people make some amazing stuff out of it. Go by feel. So yeah, I'm not sure like how much room for like expression is there in crochet. Obviously people, it's like, do you make the pattern beforehand and then you follow it? Or is it more like you can change it as you go? Probably more useful to the neck first. Does he have a neck even? Where did my everything go? There it is. Here. Yeah, he does have a neck. Okay. Patchwork cardigans, because I go in with like 60% of the construction thought out and see what happens. Cool. The way that I make my armatures does mean that, like, the neck can occasionally be, like, off to one side, and I need to offset that. Also thinking of, like, when I go to GDQ in January, maybe I'll... Like, I'm not gonna cosplay as my VTuber, but I want to have, like, an outfit that is evocative of my VTuber. So I might have, like... some kind of a vest and shirt and tie combo. Crocheting really tight to make it want to be puffy. Also because, like, knitting and crocheting have been around for so long, there have been a lot of, like, innovations and techniques and people coming up with all kinds of stuff. And because needle felting hasn't been around as long, it'd be interesting to see, like, how it develops over time. Also, no surprise, Etsy is now, like, filled with, like, AI stuff for felting. Because I was looking up, like, felting, like, felted Christmas ornaments to get, you know, what tags I should use and stuff. Found on the inside before decreasing to bulk it up and firm up the edge. Interesting. So there's, like, construction and stuff to it. Yeah. Excuse me. But it kind of took a second for me to, like, tell with the, yeah, it took a second for me to tell with the AI stuff whether or not it was AI, because it seems like AI has, like, it's able to produce that kind of effect of, like, the halo of loose threads, like loose fibers that are coming off of it, which, you know, would indicate more that it's real. But you know, the way that you can tell is if it just looks like too perfect and too uniform, and if it's doing stuff that you can't do that cleanly with felt. Playing Blue Badger from Case 5 overlapping with the game's music. Sometimes that happens when I'm trying to download VODs. I'm like, when did, like, Ace Attorney music start playing? When did Undertale music start playing? Are they doing that in the background? It's like, no. Because the VOD that you're downloading just, like, popped up. Sounds like Blue Badger for some reason. would be interested in, like, at least learning the basics of knitting and crocheting so that I understand them a little bit better. That when I'm talking to people who do that, I at least kind of know what I'm talking about. Although if I learn knitting, I'm going to be thinking of the loop, Nathan, the entire time. I already made the thing. Just loop it. Welcome in, loop bag. Thank you so much for coming. Have I played Investigations? I have not played Investigations. The games that I had played all of the main 6 ones. Like Ace Attorney 1 sort of when it came out, and then the other ones later. And I sort of had an interesting one because Great Ace Attorney, I watched an entire playthrough of it with somebody else. So I know that one. But Investigations, I only knew through videos from a YouTuber named Jello Apocalypse, who is like very funny, but like unfortunately a hater. And so I'm like, I'm not sure if my perception of Investigations is colored by how much he's a hater. And like that was also the Great Ace Attorney playthrough I watched, but he was also like less of a hater on that one. Or I was able to be like, okay, you're being a little much on such and such a thing. Yeah, it's one of those like, damn, I wish you weren't funny because you suck so much. So yeah, I stopped watching his content, but before, you know, yeah, a lot of people who are funny, or are otherwise like charismatic can get away with being shitty. This applies to literally everything, but definitely YouTube as well. But like in any case, the playthroughs of Investigations that he did were also like compilations, so I didn't see the entire game. So I really enjoyed watching various playthroughs because he's very much like gives everything a chance. And you know, kind of came to the conclusion of a lot of other people that like Investigations 1 is very okay and just like kind of isn't really a fully baked concept, and then 2 really solidifies it. I still think the pacing drags, and I like court segments, and I don't like that they're not in there, and that they keep trying to shoehorn Miles into like having a teenage sidekick, which doesn't work super well for him. Like Kay is just very to me for the most part. She doesn't have the like kind of depth to her character as much as like Maya does, or like Rafa. But like she's fine. But yeah, she doesn't work as well as an assistant just because Miles doesn't, yeah, like Barry said, seem like he would put up with it as much. The final of Investigations 1, 3 final streams where he thought Case 5 was over. Case 5 of Investigations 1 really does just drag that entire game down. Like, there are some good moments in it, but it's just so long. It's all in the same place. It's very, like, the details of it are very, confusing and asinine. And And, you know, then that's why people don't try Investigations 2, which sucks because 2 has some really good parts of it. Like, I do kind of, like, agree with, unfortunately agree with Jello in a couple areas where, like, the part... I'm trying to decide if I want to, like, talk about the ending, which I guess I can. But like, the sort of Sebastian, Eustace, whatever. I sort of eventually started calling everybody by their like official names. I just like Sebastian de Best better. But most of them are fine to me. His like big moment is so emotionally impactful. It's just too much for me, so I enjoy that other people enjoy it. Yeah, there are games like that for me, where I'm like, it's not for me, but I'm very happy that you enjoy it. Like, genuinely. And, you know, not everybody likes mystery games, either. I love Metal Gear, and I dropped out of playing the first one, because I realized I don't like stealth games. I'm like, this is stressful, and not in a way I like. But, like, yeah, Sebastian having his big moment, like, 4 hours, 5 hours before the game is done, and then we have basically a character show up to be like, hey, by the way, unbidden, I'm going to just drop a bunch of plot out of nowhere, and then, hey, let's go over here, let's literally go over here, and resolve the plot that we set up. And I do think it's very, very cool, genuinely, that they have like there is a plot between all 5 cases, and they all have continuity between them and characters between them and a mastermind who's like behind all of them. It's just that storytelling, though it is very cool, does not have anywhere near the emotional payoff of Sebastian versus his dad. Kind of weird that both Investigations games have people with the name Eustace. Do they? Who's the one in Investigations 1? It's like... I mean, it's... I know Ace Attorney tries to not have the same names. Like, for example, Simon Keys, which is Simeon Saint's fan translation name. Like, instead of having him be Simon, it's Simeon Saint. Because we now already have a Simon. With Simon Blackwell. So, for the most part, they try not to have overlapping names. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Investigations 2 now. Investigations 1 is... It also has some really cool plot moments, mostly with, like, Callisto, Yu, and Lang. Miles is, like, not actually that important in that game. He's more, like, there. But the very cool part about Investigations 2, what they do, and I think that they do a lot of, like, father-son, trying to figure out, like, what your path is in life. Are prosecutors morally corrupt, or is there, like, value in what they do? And Miles having to take all of the, like, character development that he had to have in the original trilogy, and then, like, kind of critically examining that. And I really like the payoff for him of helping Eustace stand up to his dad, and also, like, the sort of final boss of Mind Chess being trying to, like, be nice to this kid who's having an extremely traumatic bad time. Which is, like, equal parts funny and, like, really cool. It's like, Miles, your final boss is to not be a bully to this child. But, like... Well, I don't think he even defeated the corrupt system, really. Like, he got, like, one person out of the way, but, like, we also did that in Case 1-5 with Damon Gant. So, like, I think that, considering that Investigations 1 and 2 came out after Apollo Justice, they knew that the Dark Age of the Law was going to be there, so I think it makes sense that it's like, okay, we're not gonna... Getting one or two people behind bars is not going to solve the whole problem. And, like, maybe that's giving the game too much credit, but I like to give Ace Attorney credit. I think it can actually be very smart. And, you know, because Miles becomes chief prosecutor later in the games, he might not have by Game 4, because we don't see him in Game 4. But he was at least, like, helping Phoenix in the background the whole time. Hi, Benny Vivi, welcome. A Vivi to be. I need to remember that Vivi's head is, like, perfectly circular. Perfectly spherical boy. But it is very funny that, like, both Investigations games need to take place over, like, a month, so that, it can be between AA3 and when Phoenix gets disbarred. Because that is a very tight timeline. He's got sent back in time to Investigations 1 and 2. Yeah, like, he's not in Apollo Justice except for the flashback part. And even then he's written kind of weird in that part. But yeah, the order of the games coming out was 1, 2, 3, 4, Investigations 1 and 2. I forget where, and then it's like 5, and then, or like, I forget when Layton vs. Ace Attorney came out. But regardless of that, 1, 2, 3, 4, Investigations 1 and 2, 5, Great Ace Attorney 1, 6, Great Ace Attorney 2. So it's kind of odd, but it's, that is how they came out. But the order in which you should play them is not release order. It's just like, just go through, just go through 1, 2, 3, Investigations 1 and 2 if you feel like it right then. 4, 5, 6 can also put Investigations 1 and 2 there. You can play the crossover at any point, ideally after 3, but it can be after 1. And then Great Ace Attorney. Because Great Ace Attorney has a much more satisfying, like, final act than Investigations 2 does. And that game also has sort of a, like, lots of stuff in previous cases leads to the finale, which every game does at least somewhat, but Investigations 2 and Great Ace Attorney really do. Particularly because Great Ace Attorney having 2 games, it's essentially just one, like, story over 2 games. Because they, like, directly connect to each other and picks up, like, exactly where the other one comes or stops, or whatever. Ace Attorney is rad for being about ethics and ideals while also having to convince the court that someone named something like Myrtle the culprit is the culprit. And also it has Sholmes. Yes. Sholmes is such a... he's such a guy. He's very a baby girl. Hard to hate, but you just want to hate him so bad. Because he's so annoying. But he's so himself. That you're like, I can't stay mad at you, Sholmes. And you're like, but I can! But what the fuck, Sholmes? Why did you do that? And then it's like, Yeah, but he's got a good heart, and I can't stay mad at him because he's hanging from like a sconce on the wall, and he's just so funny. I love him. It's gonna be... He inspires many complicated emotions. He's like very chaotic in good and bad ways. Also, just, I love all of the characters in Great Ace. They're fantastic. The animation is so good. The like jury system is very cool because it's sort of like taking what Layton vs. Ace Attorney did and like expanding it even more. Like, that was a good mechanic. Let's do that. I want to dip him in a slightly acidic beverage so that, like, his outer coat, dissolves. But we keep the nice chewy center. Yeah, that kind of, like, enigmatic, are you being for serious, or, are you JK, or are you for Circe? It's impossible to know. Just like equal parts charming and infuriating. Which is fantastic. But yeah, I just don't think that like the payoff in the end of Investigations 2 has the emotional payoff that they want it to, because they want it to be like, Miles, this is you if you didn't have like good role models, and if you had, they're doing the, you know, the thing of there but for the grace of God go I kind of villain. Like, you could have been corrupt in this way had you stayed on this path. Which is great for Miles, but like just isn't like as emotional as I think they wish it was, because it wasn't built up through the whole game in the way that like Eustace was. But his whole big moment, it's outstanding. I love it. Especially because he's like such a twerp and you're just like, I want to bully him, but then you're like, I want to see him succeed as well. Like, he's such a good character. I love him. Yeah, you can tell he's trying to help in his own strange way. What's also nice about Great Ace Attorney is that they do have all of the like archetypes of characters that you want to see. Like, they have your main character lawyer, they have your rival, they have the prosecutor, they have the detective, and your assistant, and people like that, but they also have, like, Sholmes and Iris kind of don't really fit in any, like, they're kind of a detective, they're kind of an assistant, they kind of fulfill different roles, they're kind of like person in the background doing mysterious things, and then, like Gina is another detective, but does something different. There's like a lot of kind of storylines going on at the same time that they can develop over 2 games, which is very cool. Yeah, putting a clue on a glue trap and waiting for Sholmes to show up. So, I just want to squeeze him. Because he shows up when Ryunosuke is having a terrible time. And it's like, ha ha ha, I am whimsical. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? But then, you know, is actually charming. So you kind of are introduced to him in a, like, love-hate kind of scenario anyway. So it sets you up for the proper way to enjoy Sholmes, which is to hate and love him in equal measure. Yeah, and then, like, something about rights that has to do with why they can't use, like, Sherlock Holmes and Iris Watson, which is what they're called in Japanese. And, like, there's apparently some history with using the name Sherlock, or using the name Herlock Sholmes anyway, in like, Japanese media, so it just kind of worked out like that. But I think it's funny. I think the fact that he's this, like, weird, fucked up Sherlock Holmes, who is nothing at all like the book character, but has, like, the intelligence of that character somewhere buried deep within his heart. Just, it fits him being named Herlock Sholmes, you know? I think that's, like, accidentally perfect for him. Yeah, I mean, like, and they can use Lestrade and stuff like that, too. It's just, like, character rights and, like, the state of the author and stuff. Like, you can use it in Japan, but you can't use it in the US. He wasn't misogynistic? That's very funny. Listen, he's from Victorian England. He has to hate women. Hadn't learned not to hate women in public domain yet. Really. Like, it's just as well that this version of I keep trying to say, like, Sholmes, Holmes, Sherlock, Herlock. I keep like, when it's trying to come out of my mouth, it's not coming out right, so I have to, like, pause. This version of Sherlock Holmes being such a weirdo is perfect for him being named Herlock. But, like, I love Ryunosuke, I love Susato, she's so cute, I love her so much, I love her little outfit, I like that she's got her little book in her little sleeve, I like that in Game 2, she gets to do some, like, gender fucky nonsense, and I'm like, hell yeah. And it's fantastic. I love Kazuma, I love Van Zieks, he's our favorite racist boy. It's also, like, liking Van Zieks is so silly, too, because it's like, he's like, I'm racist for a trauma reason, and you're like, okay, man. Like, I guess I don't get to be mad, considering that this was written by Japanese people. Okay, whatever. And also how in, like, and sit with the trans-affirming misogynistic parrot. Just so much. Van Zieks is just so much. Does his little leg up on the table and smashing his glasses against the wall, like, why are you like this? Crazy vampire man. I do like how he went from, like, official Ace Attorney jazz to unofficial Bossa Nova Undertale, and they kind of bled into each other enough that I'm like, wait a minute, Is the annoying dog song in Ace Attorney somehow? It's like, no. Don't worry about it. Also, we have ads in about 2 minutes. Also, we're not talking about FF9 at all, because I haven't really played FF9, and we're just making a Vivi, but we're gonna talk about whatever we want to talk about. And because the FF9 soundtrack has a lot of songs that are kind of slow. So I stopped listening to it. Also has great songs. But has a lot of like, alright, need to get up and go a little bit. Fuck, damn it. Alright, broke a needle. So that went right in the wire. You don't break needles as much if you don't work with wire armatures, but I do. Brimming with opinions and tears. I enjoyed watching Tiefling Ben play it. This is like not stuck in there. Motherfucker! How do I get this out of here? Like that, but that's the wrong one. Hi, puppy. Hello. 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 Puppy dog. It's appropriate that you come and join us on the dog song. There he is. It's him. I love him. First. That'll work. That's him. You. My head is sort of giving isopod ball mode a little bit, yeah. Inside of the curves are lower than the outside of the curve. I mean, making an isopod-themed crochet project is probably, you know... I feel like that goes with the kind of people who crochet. Like, I feel like I've seen that before. It would not be out of the realm of crochet possibility. Welcome back, everybody. Spent most of the ad petting my dog. You will be so isopod. Vivi, you have such strange proportion. These are right. Supposed to look like. Let's see. When do I have to have... The second one I need to have done by November 4th. This one I have to have done by next Tuesday. Probably work on this on stream again on Monday. Might do some stuff off stream, we'll see. I'll try to get a good chunk done today. Get the bases done for sure, and then we will probably get like the black parts covered and maybe be able to do the pants, and I can like cut out the got the clothing patterns. Standing thing. I want to do that like Christmas advertisement kind of thing. I remember during the Undertale 10th anniversary stream, Toby Fox was talking about how Alphys' theme it's also used for the underground lab, but actually the underground lab was made first, and then was like, you know, sped up and major keyed and all that for Alphys' actual theme, because it was just like a song that he had made for like a tower or something, and he was like, it might have been used for something else other than the underground lab, but this is how it ended up being. I tend to make projects as like, okay, this is the project that I'm making and I'm going to work on it right now and then it's going to be done. So like, I don't have as much like, oh, I intended this to be used for something, but it ended up being used for something else. But I do have like, oh, it's cool that like this technique was able to be used for something else. They reveal themselves over time. And also that, like, you know, Ralsei came first and Asriel was, you know, done later, and all this stuff that's like, oh, things were done very backwards. But like the technique that I used for like Snake's camo, I used for the mouse doll's iridescent outfit. Kind of fun to see, like, okay, this technique that I used, how can I apply it in other circumstances? I learned how to do, like, patterns on clothing from making the Prize Wizard doll. And then I've used that in a number of places. Or like when I'm doing creative writing, part of the thing that I'm writing in my novella right now is based on, like, events that happened in high school to me, to my cousin, and just, like, combining things from my own past to turn into a story about somebody else. I also just think that it's cool to enjoy stuff, like... I think it's cool that, like, Toby Fox is my age, you know? Like, I can appreciate something without having, like, the hero worship that a younger kid would. Just being like, yeah, I grew up with that too, or... Like, yeah, I completely know where you're coming from with, like, this emotion. Just interesting to be able to, like, relate to a creator in a different way than I did when I was younger. And also to be able to relate to characters like, this is my child, I'm protecting them. That's how I feel about all the Deltarune kids. It's like, I'm like, these are my weird teenagers, and I love them. I want them to grow up big and strong. There's something very powerful about, like, yeah, I remember feeling like this, but then I also know what it's like to grow up out of that. So you're like, you can do it! You can do it, kid. I know you can. It gets better, I promise. And then there's also some of that, like, oh, you know, that's when I only had sort of small things to worry about. To an extent. Like, kid me had a lot of adult things to worry about too, but, stretch. much. But you know, that idealized childhood, like almost no child has like truly nothing to worry about. I would think so, anyway. Based on people I've talked to. This arm is a little longer. It's so close. Fine. Oh boy. It's very needed a stretch. I hope Jacob and Julia are playing Road to Empress again. The game is so fucking funny. Vivi's also one of those characters where it's like, you know, based on what I know about him, where it's like, hey man, it's alright, it's gonna get better, I promise. I'm sorry that you're having to confront your own, like, mortality at a very young age. Make some, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, because it's for my writing group tomorrow. Make some very good pumpkin cookies with cream cheese frosting, but the recipe said, oh, but what if you added, like, candied nuts, either on top or in the batter? And I'm like, hey recipe, you're so right, that's so smart. And I found, like, pecan praline at the grocery store, and I'm like, ooh, so that's gonna be really good. Sometimes I worry about leaving dead air on a stream like this, but you know, when it's raining somewhere else, it's playing in the background. I feel like it's okay. Like, also probably fine to have quote-unquote dead air on, like, a craft channel where there's at least something to look at and listen to the whole time. Like, every time a streamer, I see a streamer, like, the game is fucking up, or we have to wait for someone, or something like that, and they're just like, what am I supposed to do with myself? I'm always thinking in my head, like, it's fine, we can just chill for a bit. So, you know, maybe, maybe be a little nicer to yourself. Ow! Oh. Hey, autistic people, what's your favorite brand of noise-canceling headphones? Because I'm looking into that. Like, specifically earbuds, probably. Like, use them in more places. I've been told that, like, the Bose something, QC35, something like that, is, like, the gold standard, but they're very expensive. Then they're Sennheiser? Something else that's also supposed to be quite good. I saw that some of them have, like, an app that you can get. You can, like, adjust noise cancellation of them. More of a heel. Add a butt. Must have a butt cheek. Like, partially for the memes and partially because it helps me to make sense of, like, the shape of the body. And if you don't, like, really see it, it's important for the silhouette. Corvid Day, welcome in. I do like these Japanese versions of Deltarune. cosplay tour. I think. We finish this butt cheek first. And I will. Let's see. Okay. Ash, hello. Ashy, hello. Hello, hello, my sweet baby boy. Okay, so, this is one of the very first cosplay things that I made all by myself. Because in college I had somebody else help me a little bit, but this is one of the first things I did by myself, which is stupid because this is velvet, and you should not do that with velvet. Because velvet gets everywhere. Like, it's called velvet herpes for a reason. So this was the cape for a character from a show called Katekyo Hitman Reborn that I used to be very into. He's like a mob boss, but he's a good guy. It's great. This is what I say when people are like, oh, I'm gonna try baking. I'm gonna make macarons. Like, why would you do that? And I'm like, I'm gonna try sewing. I'm gonna make something out of velvet. Like, why would you do that? So this is interfacing, but it's like nowhere near stiff enough. I don't. This was made in like 2016 or so I don't completely remember, but it definitely took me a good long while. Like at least a month. Yeah, this is craft foam backed with like a bit of acrylic, I think. So I was trying to figure out a good way to make. He's got this sort of. This is broken, but did that, and then some of the problem solving of like how do you make this sort of weird thing. And I have this little claw, and then it goes back there. And then this part also had like another small like chain underneath it. Then we have some very uneven but still pretty good piping, honestly. This was, what did I do with this? It was just like zigzag stitched over top of it. Which is not like a bad way to do it, because it still looks pretty good. Then we have tassels, which is added there. I used to reuse my cosplays. I reused like my Apollo one. I don't know if they're kind of broken, it would be a little hard to use them, but like I probably couldn't reuse this one, just because it's too old. But I do like reusing them if I can. But I was still like very, very proud of how this turned out, despite how like kind of janky it is, because it's a cape and it's like I made it myself. And then it had like a pinstripe suit underneath it and a like a kind of a spiky blonde wig, and in that show they have like flames on their foreheads, so I looked up a technique for how to make like a flame, And I want to see if I can find that wig, actually, because that might be kind of cool to look at. You go here.
Hello. Oh, hello. Hello.
I found it. Hi, Chi, welcome in. Yeah, I have a number of wigs. But yeah, this is a technique of, it's, you know, been smushed. But, this was attached to a barrette that I then glued in here. And this is like, you know, acrylic sheets. And then you cut out the shape that you want, and then you burn the edge of it with like a lighter, just kind of next to it so it curls up a little bit. And then you kind of just like hot glue these parts on. And it looks very cool. Ah! Broke it! Well, it's fine. I have a lot of wigs. I've never dyed my hair my entire life, but I do have quite a few cosplay wigs. This is how I have any possibility of making the doll's hair look good, because I've spent time in the cosplay wig mines. Oh, and then
Hello, my sweet. Hello, my sweet.
And then I know I've shown these off before, but these are the yeah, that's kind of what's cool about cosplay and needle felting, is that you need a lot of different techniques. Is that these are like the main character's weapons in the show, and I was cosplaying as like essentially his ancestor. So we have craft foam that's like covered with vinyl, and like aged, and then we have the technique of using, these are googly eyes, and they look like rivets when you paint over them, and also having things like, you know, there's an ease of movement that you need to have. We have like a black glove with a silver glove that like has been very painstakingly like sewed, you know, these parts sewn onto it, these parts glued onto it. This rings are also important in that show, and I just like cut the ring off here and then like added a band here so that it looked right, but this part is just craft foam, because otherwise it would be, you know, this would be too big for it. Like painted on top of it. You really need to pay attention to like ease of movement for cosplay, which is also why like this part, you know, in the show it does go all the way around, but then you couldn't get your hand out of here. So it's important to pay attention to like what needs to be stretchy, what, you know, you need to have pockets, you need to have the ability to like stand up and sit down. A lot of stuff like that is important for moving around. I know, I know, I know. Yeah, walking around a convention, like if you're doing it for just a photo shoot or like just a competition, like that's different. But if you're talking about walking around a convention for like most of a day, you need pockets, you need shoes that are comfortable, you need to be able to get in and out of your costume well enough to go to the bathroom. You need to be able to stand up and sit down. You need to be able to take parts of your costume off in order to like sit against a high back chair. Like for example, the Colette costume that I showed off the other day has wings that go with it, but I can take them off. And I can take them off without taking the dress off. So stuff like that is very important. And if you want to put your pet in a costume, I actually went to a panel that was run by somebody who has like a service dog that she used as part of her cosplays as well. And it's like, this is what you can comfortably put them in and what they need to be able to have to move, and you know, when to know if something's uncomfortable for them and things like that. Also, hi Trans Wizards, welcome. This is my little mop dog. He has such long hair. Hello, hello, hello. I love seeing when people incorporate like mobility aids into cosplay, like incorporating canes or wheelchairs. I love seeing people incorporate like hijabs or like natural hair, all kinds of, like, I love it when people are like, okay, this is the kind of person that I am, and I'm going to make it work for this character. Which is fantastic, and I love it. Like, how to problem solve in a creative way. And even if it's not problem solving, like, just making the character your own. Because a lot of characters that I cosplayed didn't look like me, but I just made it work. Hi Sparkrust, welcome. Yeah, I really want to go to a con again. I haven't gone in a couple years. To like a big one anyway. But I mean, AGDQ is going to be kind of like that. I know some people cosplay. I'll at least wear like my cute pastel outfits that I like. Yeah, back when I used to write for the anime site that I used to write for, I've talked about this before, but I would do like cosplay articles for a particular series, and would on purpose find people who did something creative with it, or, you know, had mobility aids, had all kinds of different stuff. It's going so good. I'm currently working on making 2 different Vivi FF9 dolls, because I, for some reason, got separate commissions for 2 of them. Consistently make a wheelchair for given characters they do fan art for, and they have super in-depth inspirations. Yeah, no, that's awesome. If you want to drop a link to them, you can. I think I remember seeing, like, back when, like, Bowsette was very popular, there was somebody who was a chain chompette, and their wheelchair was decorated like a piranha plant. It was so cool. Loved it. I also just love jazzing people up, you know, because it can be difficult to. I know as well as anyone that it's like cosplaying a character who you don't look like can feel like, oh well, why am I even doing this if I don't look like them? But having somebody be like, that is so cool, and I love the effort that you put into it. Yeah, 2 commissions of the same thing as a wild happenstance. Yeah, especially because, like, I haven't, you know, the video for this came out, like, this summer. It might just be Etsy advertising it after, you know, because that time that I had 2 Ralseys, that was from the same person. But this was 2 different people, like, 4 or 5 days apart. Like, oh, another Vivi? Alright, sure. You got it. Yeah, it just like makes me really happy to tell people that like their efforts are appreciated and that they're cool and I think they're creative and neat. Maybe canceled apparently, so that probably brought it around to people's minds. Interesting. Yeah, it's like, is FF9 in the media somehow? Drop a lurk? Yeah, thank you for lurking. Have fun with Path of Exile too. Are you proud of me that I know what that acronym is? Because I had to look at it and tilt my head like a dog for a second and then be like, oh! Right. I'm not like the world's biggest fan of this vocalist, but I think he does a good job. Pillars of Eternity too? I guess it could be that. I'm so proud of you. Thank you! I usually just say, like, be proud of me, like, as kind of a joke, but then when people actually say they're proud of me, I'm like, yay, thank you! I was trying to play some Ocarina of Time Rando last night because I was feeling a little down, and I'm like, I'm gonna play a thing that I'm good at. Too bad, because I haven't played it since, like, summertime, like, earlier summertime, and I couldn't do B1 skip, and I'm like, no! No, I'm washed. Terrible, I can't do it, I'm out of practice. Maybe I'll try again today. Also, maybe trying to do B1 skip with, like, being several months out of practice is not the greatest idea, because that skip is really hard. But I want to get it! Because that's the way I like to go through the randomizer. I probably need to, like, actually do the setup correctly instead of just feeling it out by vibes. Because my partner was like, oh, I want to, like, teach you Melee sometime, because they used to do Melee competitive. And I'm like, ooh, yes, teach me how to wave dash. I want to be like Birdly. And they also used to do TF2 competitive, which I've never even played TF2. I just know it by the animations, so I probably would not be very good at that. Like, I'm gonna teach you Ocarina of Time randomizer, and let me just play it to get it back in my head, and then it's like, wow. Wow, I think you need practice again. What happens with skill-based games is that, like, if you don't practice, you're not good at it. It's like, no! No! I want to still be good! I actually don't really know anything about the Path of Exile games. Like, what kind of games are they? Are they, like, RPGs? Also planning on playing Legend ZA sometime soon. Wanting to play it with my partner some... For Diablo? Okay. But I want to play it with them, and they need to, like, finish Digimon first, so... waiting. Although I do know some of the Mega Evolutions, and I'm excited. I've heard of Rivals of Aether being just, like, really, really good. And also being furry Smash Brothers. Oh boy, skill tree. I can do a skill tree on it, maybe. What games have I played with skill tree? Baldur's Gate? This shoulder is shut down. That's probably the issue. I could also add his big ol' hat. Art. Gonna look like a weird little garden gnome for a while. Hey Meister, welcome! Made some very good-looking curry that I saw in the Discords. I'm like, ooh, I should make curry soon. Do have Japanese curry blocks. I got some. Perfect combination of flavorful movesets, tech that actually wants to be performed, and a dev team that actually has intention behind changes. Yeah. Because it's kind of from the ground up supposed to be competitive. Like in a way that early Smash Brothers was not. I do love the character designs too. I've seen like a couple tournaments of Rivals of Aether. Out of it for the next week. Yum. eating some of the rest of my pistachio pesto pasta that I made, because it's also fun to say pistachio pesto pasta. They'll have some... I end up freezing half of what I make, because I just don't eat a lot of food these days. But, like, I also still have some good spicy sweet potatoes and ribs in the freezer. Roll the shoulder. Anyway, actually gonna lurk now. Alright. Oh boy. 2-pound pork shoulder. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to know what to do with like a big old thing of pork shoulder. Hi Juno, welcome. Everyone's stopping by today. I feel like I haven't seen you around lately, Juno. Nice to see you. I am doing good. Vivi times 2. I'm vaguely aware of Moon. Isn't that like a RPG Maker game? Is it? Am I thinking of something else? Oh right! That's one of the games that inspired Undertale. That's right. Smaller portions are easier to find there. Yeah. I mean, if you just get a bigger pork shoulder than you can use, you can cut it in half. Let's half fit in the freezer. What I've done before. Or just, you know, make it all and then put half of the finished thing in the freezer. Having a big energy dip in general. Earth has a second moon captured in its orbit till 2083. Oh, like... Okay. Are you Circe or are you JK? Because that would be kind of neat. I don't think so, but... If we had like 2 moons, that would be great. And we could pretend we're on Tatooine. Oh, cool. Do you wanna like link an article? I'm doing the thing where I don't fully believe you, so I'm like, yeah, do you want to like link an official .gov article so I can make sure that you're not fucking with me? The little rock. Take a little rock. A small pebble satellite that is hanging around for a bit. That's fun. Do we get to name it? Do we get to name it and then write songs about it? Also, if it's been around since the 60s, why do we not know about it until now? I do want to... Vivi goes off to college. Ah, I see. The memes in 2083 when I'm 90 years old are gonna be so lit. I am also excited to see you, Juno. I will maybe live to 90, who knows? One side of my family is like relatively long-lived and the other is not, so we'll just have to see. Yeah, this sounds like the beginning of a JRPG plot, honestly. Like, in 90 years. Or, well, not 90 years now. Like 62 feet wide. I see, so it was so small that we couldn't see it. Probably. But yeah, like, can you imagine just the, like, the JRPG plots we could make? Of, like, 58 years. The second moon will leave orbit of Earth. And until that time, we must make the best of it, and we must assemble a team in order to defeat the god that lays within that crater. Oh yeah, I mean, any size object, like, entering the solar system and being big enough to... Well, solar system, entering Earth's orbit. And, you know, being big enough to not burn up on entry is, like, a problem. So, I'm sure they're on that. Moon 2, the second one. One has to have a real name now, right? We can't just call it 2025 PN7. Maybe like Diana or something? Poor Moon doesn't even have a name. I guess it's Luna or something. Like the sun is Sol, technically. Yeah, it's for sure the black materia. I like when I squish the head. And I'm like, yes, you shall be shaped. Like, I know it's a circle, but you have a little bit more of a jaw. Perfectly circular heads don't look actually that good, so... Hi, Spamton. You're happy to see Moon too? I like how 62 feet is Godzilla-sized. I think we've had a couple close encounters with like, stuff that could absolutely kill us. And then it was just like, actually, it's fine. I seem to recall, maybe about 10 years ago, NASA being like, it's a possibility that this thing that's passing through could, like, clip us on the side, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then everybody was like, okay. And then it was fine. Then I will add a little cone hat. Oh yeah, we have ads in 45 seconds! What if I pet the dog? What if I pet him? The dog. Moon is literally just called the Moon. That's so lame. It should have a real name. Especially if we have a second moon now. We can't have two moons and not have names for them. But a little dog is so small and a baby. Actually, I bet my friend who loves space stuff is going crazy about it. Chibi Moon? Perfect. Hi, Darkbolt. Welcome. Well, I will have to ask my friend who is very into space stuff if this is maybe making up for the extremely bad time he's having lately. It's like I keep waiting for... Well, I'm not going to pay attention to it, but if, like, politicians make this about themselves somehow. Go all, like, ancient China on us and be like, the sign from the heavens that I should be king, or something. My dad and his wife have been like going to protests, which is neat for them. They're just going to protests in like a very like rich white town where there's no possibility that like anything could go wrong really. And my dad's like, "Have you been going to them?" And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of a little bit maybe more dangerous to go in a big city." So I just try to support from the sidelines. I was like standing there smiling, taking selfies, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, I've never been to a protest before. It's like, wait a minute, you lived through like the 70s and you never went to a protest? Okay. Whatever. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad that I don't go to more protests, but like I'm too scared. I do really like that people are going in, like, dinosaur costumes and stuff now. To just show, like, how ridiculous the opposition is being, demonizing them. Yeah, the frogs, they're so good. Yeah, whoever came up with that, like, absolutely outstanding. Perfect work, beautiful, amazing. Just like, oh, you're gonna arrest a frog? Is that the thing that you're doing? Pretty cringe. Welcome back from ads, everybody. Yeah, while also being very good at covering your face. Amphibiophobic of them. It serves many purposes. This big did I make? Me just casually looking up how I did this the first time. I guess I could just put, like, the actual, like, for the ref image, I could just put up the one that I made before. Like this. Here. Like that. And like this. Yes? No? Maybe? No. Go there. Kind of proud of that photo. Inflatable costumes have fans pumping air in constantly. Stuff like tear gas might actually concentrate in there. Well, I think they thought about that. Like, if that was a problem, they would have stopped doing that. Oh, that'll work for now. Like, what the hell is this? It's gonna be a Vivi, don't even worry about it. The inciting incident was an ICE agent spraying pepper spray in the intake, and they, like, straight up didn't know anything happened. Didn't bother him. See. Also, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm just gonna spray pepper spray directly into your, like, intake pump that's in, like, your ass or wherever. It's like, asshole. I know one of the people at my gym is somebody who is, like, part of Homeland Security and used to do, or, like, most of what she does is, like, taking down, like, drug dens and stuff like that. And I think she's had to, like, do some stuff to do with, like, being on the other side of those protests, and I just, like, I don't think I can have an opinion on it, because she's otherwise, like, a very, very cool person and seems extremely conflicted about it, and I'm just like, I don't have enough information. Like, I don't have enough information to know what to think about that, but you know, based on my no information, I would say I would just quit my job if that was me. But I don't know. Like, maybe she hasn't had to do it, but, like, maybe other people, like, have or something. Maybe she was just, like, giving her opinion on what was going on. I only heard a little bit, so I'm not gonna, like, demonize her because I don't know what's going on. But yeah, if that was me, even if it was, like, I would have to find a whole new source of income, I would quit my job if I was told to, like, deport people. Like some crazy hair coming out the back of his head. Don't need it to go like super far down on the head because the brim is going to be really big anyway. Sort of needs to cover the very back of the head. I hope nobody thinks I'm, like, defending the Ice Agents or anything. I'm not at all. Like, they're scum. I'm just, like, I think that this one person who I, like, kind of vaguely know, like, is at least on the very edges of it. I'm like, I don't know what her story is. Captive and complicit, yeah. But, you know. I guess if you're told to do something that is, like, morally horrific and you do it anyway, like, then that's when we can, like, call you scum. We don't apologize for Nazis who are following orders. Like, we say you should have quit your job. Yeah, but most people can't afford to lose their jobs, so it's just like... I work for a military-centric bank. We don't directly support, but I've had to send wires to Israel, a few to Palestine, help cops with their accounts. So far, no one has told me their eyes. Yeah, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I get in trouble because I, like, always try to see the best in people. Even when I maybe shouldn't. Even when I should just be like, this person sucks, moving on. Like, I just have a really hard time getting to the point of this person sucks. Like, irredeemably sucks. Like, I apologize for exes and I shouldn't, you know, stuff like that. I think that happened in Laz's stream a while back when I was like, oh, like, there's a world in which someone who's not a bad person could say something shitty. And I feel like I stuck my foot in my mouth without meaning to. Plenty of civilians and a coworker from my old team went to DC Saturday for No Kings. Yeah. It's just tough out here. Know what to do, know what to say, know how to help. hat is not long enough. It's be longer. Need to point to your hat. The thing I always come back to is, like, we just gotta support each other. Gotta look out for each other and lift each other up. We still have DEI initiatives, telework, queer groups, and programming for Hispanic Heritage Month, but we're not the military and don't answer to the government. We do answer to regulators as needed, yeah. You do what you can in the space that you have. I know a fair few people whose family work at government agencies because they're both irreplaceable and willing to blow whistles. That's also, you know, maybe another good thing, is that if you're on the inside, you can help. People are complicated, the world is complicated, and it's just difficult to know what to do. Stuck in a situation. Okay, now I believe what I did was dig deep enough, there's spilled blood everywhere. If we do our best, we may help spill less. That's a good way to put it, I'd say. This jacket is, like, kind of open. I believe I had, like, sort of void down here and then, like, up around here. That. I'll put his little eyes on. Problem with storing the black and the white together is that I sometimes it's of white in here. Oh, Insane in the Rain, who's this artist, apparently worked on Legends EA, which is very cool for him. Yeah, because he's like, I know he's a buddy of Toby Fox, and so since Toby Fox has gotten to work on Pokemon, maybe he introduced him. Carlos, forget his last name. I remember when I worked at a fair in Boston, home decor company, there was like, well, first of all, there was like a conspiracy that like Wayfair was doing like human trafficking or something because there were like prices that were super high for some items that like shouldn't have been super high. But I mean, I can tell you in the background, the knowing stuff on the back end, the system could just do that by accident. It wasn't that. But it was also like, is Wayfair providing furniture for like ice facilities? And I don't know if that was true or not, and that's a little scary to me. Thoughts on any of the new Mega Evolutions? I haven't seen all of them because I'm still like waiting to play ZA until my partner's done with Digimon so we can play it together, but I have seen some of them, and I've seen all the pre-release ones. And I like that they're embracing being silly. Because modern Pokemon has had a very good sort of like, let's just be silly about it for some like Mega Evolutions and regional forms. So having like Mega Victory Bell, Starmie especially, Phalanx. I just think that that's fantastic. And I've seen like a teeny little bit of Mega Meganium, and I'm like, I want Mega Meganium to be awesome because I love Chikorita and Meganium, and it sucks that they're bad Pokemon. I want them to be good. I'm interested to see what like becomes competitively viable. And with Pokemon Champions, that's that like sort of new competitive centric side game that they're doing. Since they're going to have like Megas and Air-type in the same game, and like maybe other things. I'm excited to see how all of those like interact in the way that like Mega Evolution and Sea moves interacted in sort of like the later days of Ultra Sun and Moon. As some sauce. I will take some sauce. I will take not the worst. Just built as a defensive statusy Pokemon, which ain't a fun archetype for a starter. Yeah, but I like him! He's good! Do they just have new Mega Evolutions? Like, is it... Do they get new forms for their final evolutions, or no? Is it still just, like, Meganium for Alligator and then, what, Emboar? Because if regular Meganium is just regular Meganium, then that's no fun. And there's also like an active battle system kind of thing. That's interesting. Sort of expanding a little bit on what they did for Legends Arceus. Good design and decent for more serious battling, just saying it feels bad in, like, Crystal. Oh, Onsta started it? Okay. Have they finished Great Ace Attorney? Sometimes I feel bad being a bit of like a Twitch fanboy, but I don't know. It's nice having a social situation in which I can participate to the degree that I am comfortable, and I can like join and leave at any time that I want. And there's like no pressure on me. I think that's nice. Be around a lot of people while being in my own home. Yes, asterisk. Going through extra stuff. Finished the narrative, but no idea how much they did Sunday. So, I'm like... Watched a video. Oh yeah, that. I've seen that, and it's very, very funny and cute. The like 15-year anniversary Phoenix and Renosuke. Very, very good. Socializing on Twitch has done wonders for my mental health. Yeah, Amazon being evil is like, well, I'm sorry. Like, it has a monopoly, and you kind of can't avoid it entirely, so... Not like Twitch was, like, an Amazon production from the very beginning or anything. I'm not sure when it stopped being Justin TV and started being Twitch. Whether that was before or after Amazon bought it. Another one of those, like, do you want to live in the modern world? Then you're gonna have to, like, give money to companies that aren't good, unfortunately. Before? Okay. Hi, Uncles. Nothing with Meganium's supportive move pool, bulk ability, and Encore can ever be completely unusable. Okay. Treat him more like a support. Amazon is evil, Twitch has its issues, many streamers are problematic, but I know some good beans here, so I'm here. Yeah. You just can't, you know... There's... Sometimes when you get into the weeds of, like, supporting this company, like, I can't live in the world without supporting evil companies, and then you kind of, like, withdraw from the world because of that. It's like... We just do the best we can, you know? Can't boycott everything. I believe I joined Twitch for Twitch Plays Pokemon, and then, like, actually joined it to, like, hang out a lot in, I believe, like, 2019, and then kind of fell off of it, and then came back in 2022. I don't recall when, like, original Twitch Plays Pokemon was. That's definitely, like, when I joined Twitch. The eyes are like half. Writing for an artist who started streaming is like enrichment for themselves. Yeah. Like, it makes sense that a lot of autistic people like Twitch and Discord and online communities, because it's like, I want to socialize, I just sometimes have a hard time doing that in person. Wants to watch the Critical Role VODs. Critical Role is one of those where it's like, I'm sure that I would love it. Unfortunately, there's just simply too much of it. I mean, yeah, I've said as much, but streaming's been quite helpful for me, too. For, like, socialization. Because you know, I leave my house, I do stuff, I go places, but, like, I still have a hard time sort of like making friends more than like acquaintances in like normal sort of IRL situation. I'm quite good at making friends, I'm not great at like asking people to hang out. We have the animated series for people like you. Yeah, I should watch the animated series. Oh geez, hi. Hi Miss Creates, welcome. Do makers and crafting. What were you guys up to? You wanna post what you were working on, I will show it on stream. Otherwise, hello, what's up? I am WireMouse, I use they, them pronouns, and I am a needle felt artist who runs a store called StabbyNeedleStudios. Today, we are making, two, because I got 2 commissions like a couple days apart, for, Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. That's one that I've made in the past, and so I'm making it again. Ooh, learning to color with alcohol markers. I follow an artist on YouTube who uses a lot of alcohol markers, and I'm just like, that sounds awesome. And it would be really cool because it feels like painting, I think, so I would love to learn how to do that. There's a lot of, like, layering involved, I believe. Yeah, that would be a fun thing to try. And they can be, like, very vibrant, and I love, like, bright, vibrant colors. Anyway, if you want to hang out, feel free. If you need to raid and run, also feel free. But yeah, we're just... forget what we were even talking about. We were talking about, how it's impossible to boycott everything, and sometimes you just have to be like, well, I guess Amazon will get my money, but I do really like Twitch. We're gonna making the night sky. Cool. Yeah, links are allowed, so if you feel like posting it, I would love to see it. Otherwise, keep her coming. How are you doing, Mr. Ash? My dog, Ash, is very asleep. I love him. My life has long been drinking Coke or Pepsi, depending on who is less boycotted at the given time. Yeah. Things that are easy to boycott, like Chick-fil-A or Hobby Lobby, it's like, yeah, just boycott them, it's fine. Popeyes is better anyway. Michael's exists, but like some big stuff, it's like, I don't know, man. Well, let me see. I'm always fascinated by whenever my posting command works. Because I essentially took it from another streamer. How cute! Oh my goodness! And very Halloween as well. That looks awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Yeah, and it has like those vibrant colors going on. Yeah. Ooh, I want to try Jollibee sometime. We're apparently getting a Wawa near me. I've had Wawa in Kentucky, but I have not had it. No spy. Yeah, those colors are outstanding. What brand are you using? I wonder if there's like, is there a difference between brands? Thanks so much for coming, Dr. Manatee. Always nice to have you here. Sometimes when I'm making the neck like this, I feel like I'm giving them a halter top. Oh, hoo-hoo. Interesting. Filipino consulate nearest to me that has a Jollibee 2 buildings down. Well, if there's gonna be a Filipino consulate, there's gotta be a Jollibee. What kind of can be expensive? Yeah. Like buying, like buying all fair trade, like, clothing can also be really, really expensive. Buying a lot of, like, organic food can get expensive extremely quickly. Like, I never shop at Whole Foods. It's too expensive. It's just always too expensive. And then also, Whole Foods is now owned by Amazon, so it's like, well, what are we doing here? But you just do what you can, when and where you can. Yeah, the food's not great. The only reason I ever go there is if I need to, like, return an Amazon package. Then I go, I should look around at what they've got, and then I go, why is it so expensive? Yeah, I mean, it really is just like, you know, one of 5 companies owns everything. Your parking garage. Hahaha. Using your parking garage for my own ends. You getting any money out of me? Except for maybe parking. I try to only buy from Amazon if I have a gift card or I need something that I can't find online easily elsewhere. Bought a mic arm a month-ish ago, €70. Partially just wanted a decent one. Wanted to buy from a local shop. Found similar arms on Amazon for like half the price. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, also. I think I asked this before, but not a lot of people were around. Does anybody have, noise-canceling earphone recommendations? I'm looking into that. Because it was sort of like, well, maybe you could just get noise-canceling earphones and it would be fine. And you wouldn't have to, like, suffer. Supporting your community is also good too. Like Like, I don't know if we can come back from having everything be basically a monopoly. But I'm not an economist, and also thinking about that stuff too much really stresses me out, so, like, I don't know. We will just do our best. Happy with my purchase, not complaining, just an example, yeah. Do that. I think it's raining somewhere else. I'm looking for more local shops as well for some purchases. Also partially why I like buying my wool from Heidi Feathers. Even though I currently can't because of tariffs. Because it's like, it would probably be faster and cheaper to get it from like a bigger place. But I like supporting small businesses when I... Cat's eyebrow whisker has entered dark mode. Yeah, it's like I've noticed like some of my like freckles on my hands are fading. Like, the winter months are approaching. Farmers market. Farmers markets are awesome. I love farmers markets. You can get some great stuff there. Lots of cool produce you have a hard time getting other places, especially if you find a place that does like obscure mushrooms and things like that. Oh my gosh. Farmers markets are awesome. Siamese cat darken when it's just chilly. Quite happy with IDK how the noise canceling compares to other product, but it cuts down the noise to a whisper. That's good. Well, we'll copy that and that. Such a. Oh, also back. Bus noise, yeah. Trying to decide if I can use them at the gym or if I still need to be able to hear people. Because I do still want to be able to talk to people and like listen to my trainer and stuff. And if you sometimes like if you can hear people but they see you have headphones on, they won't talk to you. And it's like, well, I do want to talk to people, at least in that situation. Maybe it's more for like if I have to be in a place that's very loud. I also have some Bluetooth earphones. They're just like not specifically noise canceling, so I might have to see if those work before I buy any new ones. Tap in the left buzz switches active noise canceling. Oh yeah, well, that's right. So if I just have Bluetooth earphones that don't have active noise canceling, then that's not really going to help me. So I should get ones that have active noise canceling. Then you can feel like secret agent tapping on your earphones. I can hear you now. But I'm not saying that once I get those, I'm gonna do, like, pretend I'm Snake doing a codec call all the time, but the amount of times that I will do that is not zero. Best ones are Apple's, but those are pricey. Yeah, and then, like, Apple, basically, unless it's something that can, like, really stuff into your ear, they don't really fit in my ears. Like, AirPods don't fit in my ears. Fall out. Tapping the earbuds is fun. Whimsy is important. Heard it here first. Right, we have Willy Zong after this. I try not to, well, wait, no. This isn't Louis Zong, this is still that. I try not to listen to the same songs, like, over and over to make you guys bored, but we do listen to the same songs over and over. I just kind of spread them out. Majima earbuds? Interesting. Holding onto my Whimsy like a life jacket on the Titanic. My status. My live journal status. I hired these two Vivis to stare at you. Sort of far off of the head. I don't love that. Hang on. This. Winch. Big stretch. Look at the stretch, honey. My so long-legged child. I don't know if Captions ever knows what I'm talking about. Did you say my so long-legged child? What? No, that's not what you said. Majima, Kiryu, and Ichiban earbuds. VAs talk to you. Charging cases theme for each. Special pre-order item in late 2023. Oh my gosh. Delightful. Like, oh my gosh, wow. I can get Majima to talk to me. I'm still mad I couldn't get my Animal Crossing Crocs. Because I ordered them, and they let me order them, and then they were like, we canceled your order. I'm like, no! Fine. You'll, like, buy some Converse and paint them myself or something. I don't know. I love doing DIY stuff with clothes. I don't do it enough. But I've like cut t-shirts to fit me better and like added lace panels. I've done like adding little embroidered patches to things. It's fun. Learning how to do embroidery again so that I can make custom patches for my jeans. Or just find someone on Etsy who makes them and support them instead. Why am I having so many issues with my eyes? Fuzzies. Then probably what I can do. This really is very cursed looking, just the two of them. I really love this, like, sort of auburn wool that I have. Little. I also maybe want to paint at some point. Paint my carding brushes because they're, you know, just wood. God, now they're T-posing on. I hate when I move the arms around and then, like, something in the wire armature clicks, it's like I'm popping their joints. It's like, ah, I'm sorry, that probably hurt. Because, yeah, like right around here-ish usually is where the, like, the wire starts and ends. Sometimes if I move things around, it'll make a clicking noise. We continue. We have made a significant amount of progress today, though. Especially doing 2 at once. Did I actually give him thumbs or no? Mouse, did you give him thumbs? Yes, I did. I did. I don't think I've ever shipped anything without thumbs or like ears or something like that, but those are things that are added on late, so occasionally I forget about them until I'm like, oh shit! Go faster! Megalovania's going faster! Dance is gonna get you! It works very, very well as a jazz song, I'll say that. And there you go. Alright, I think we will be done for today since we did hit 3 hours. I will probably do some of this off stream and then pick this back up on Monday. So let's see who we should raid. Let's raid Astral. Playing some totally normal poker. Balatro, a game that I enjoy. Yeah, thank you so much for coming, everybody. Enjoyed today's stream, talking to everybody. Yes. So, be back on Monday, but I, of course, will be, you know, around in the Twitch and Discord sphere. So, see you guys.